As we complete this week, passing a grim milestone of 50,000 confirmed COVID-19 deaths, for most Americans, this isn't TGIF Friday. For most of us from the White House press corps, we woke up rehashing President Donald Trump's coronavirus press briefing from the night before when he touted yet another untested and dangerous treatment. The Washington Post's White House bureau chief, Philip Rucker, asked,
Mr. President, after the presentation we just saw about the heat and the humidity, is it dangerous for you to make people think they would be safe by going outside in the heat, considering that so many people are dying in Florida, considering that this virus has had an outbreak in Singapore, places that are hot and are humid?
Here we go. The new headline is Trump asks people to go outside. That's dangerous. Here we go. Same old group. You ready? I hope people enjoy the sun. And if it has an impact, that's great. I'm just hearing this, not really for the first time. I mean, there's been a rumor that, a very nice rumor that you go outside in the sun or you have heat and it does have an effect on other viruses. But now we get it from one of the great laboratories of the world, I have to say. Covers a lot more territory than just this. This is probably an easy thing, relatively speaking, for you.
Respectfully, sir, you're the president, and people tuning into these briefings, they want to get information and guidance and want to know what to do. They're not looking for rumors.
Phil, I'm the president, and you're fake news. And you know what I'll say to you? I'll say very nicely, I know you well. I know you well, because I know the guy. I see what he writes. He's a total faker. So are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? It's just a suggestion from a brilliant lab by a very, very smart, perhaps brilliant man. He's talking about sun, he's talking about heat, and you see the numbers. So that's it. That's all I have. I'm just here to present talent. I'm here to present ideas, because we want ideas to get rid of this thing. And if heat is good, and if sunlight is good, that's a great thing as far as I'm concerned.
Meanwhile, Twitter alit with wonder. NBC's Shannon Pettypiece tweeted, "Did Trump just suggest injecting people with disinfectant to kill the virus?" Vox's Aaron Ruper supplied some color when he tweeted, "Get a load of Dr. Birx's demeanor after Trump tells her,
I would like you to speak to the medical doctors to see if there's any way that you can apply light and heat to cure. That if you could, and maybe you can, maybe you can't. Again, I say maybe you can, maybe you can't. I'm not a doctor, but I'm like a person that has a good, what.
But sir, you're the president.
Deborah, have you ever heard of that? The heat and the light relative to certain viruses, yes, but relative to this virus?
Not as a treatment. I mean, certainly fever is a good thing. When you have a fever, it helps your body respond. But I've not seen heat or light.
I think it's a great thing to look at. I mean, okay?
Stunned by the president's comments, Lysol issued a statement that reads in part, "We must be clear that under no circumstance should our disinfectant products be administered into the human body through injection, ingestion, or any other route." By morning, the White House press office sought to patch up the considerable damage caused by President Trump's musings. White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany issued a statement saying, "President Trump repeatedly said that Americans should consult with medical doctors regarding coronavirus treatment, a point that he emphasized again during yesterday's briefing. Leave it to the media to irresponsibly take President Trump out of context and run with negative headlines." The Washington Post's Aaron Blake then discovered a change in the official White House transcript, as he reported in a tweet. The first transcript the White House sent had Dr. Birx bolstering Trump's idea of applying light and heat to cure. "That is a treatment," it quoted her saying. The transcript has now been corrected to say, "not as a treatment." This morning, NPR headlined with "Sun rays, disinfectants, and false hopes. Misinformation litters the road to reopening." The New York Times reported, "Trump asks if sunlight can kill viruses. Not as a treatment," Birx says. Brian Karem, a frequent thorny presence for President Trump, tweeted his reply. "To recap, how dare we show the video clip and quote the president accurately?" And PBS's Yamiche Alcindor, who makes it a practice of quoting President Trump's words to President Trump, tweeted the White House press secretary's statement followed by a note. Trump asked on video about injecting disinfectants and light into bodies. To top it off, the FDA issued a hydroxychloroquine warning this morning, a drug President Trump frequently touted, citing, quote, serious effects including death. Note, in the pharmaceutical world, a serious adverse event, or SAE, is death. From a quixotic push for hydroxychloroquine to calling for light, heat, and disinfectant as possible treatments, many in the White House see a president desperate for a solution to tackle a virus that is not easily intimidated by a tweet and threatens his reelection. For many, President Trump appears to be flailing as he attacks the media, but can't seem to offer a cogent solution to this multi-layered crisis. Today, President Trump claimed from the Oval Office that his words during this tragedy were, as he says,
No, I was asking a question sarcastically to reporters like you, just to see what would happen. Now, disinfectant for doing this, maybe on the hands, would work. And I was asking the question of the gentleman who was there yesterday, Bill, because when they say that something will last 3 or 4 hours or 6 hours, but if the sun is out or if they use disinfectant, it goes away in less than a minute. Did you hear about this yesterday? But I was asking a sarcastic and a very sarcastic question to the reporters in the room about disinfectant on the inside. But it does kill it, and it would kill it on the hands, and that would make things much better. That was done in the form of a sarcastic question to the reporters. To look into whether or not sun and disinfectant on the hands, but whether or not sun can help us. Because, I mean, he came in yesterday and he said they've done a big study. This is a study. This isn't where he hasn't done it. This is where they've come in with a final report that sun has a massive impact negatively on this virus. In other words, it does not live well with humidity, and it doesn't live well with sunlight, heat. It doesn't live well with heat and sun and disinfectant. And that's what I brought out, and I thought it was clear.
After CNN's Jim Acosta tweeted, Trump doing cleanup on disinfectant comments, that was done in the form of a sarcastic question to reporters. TMN's J.C. Bua retorted that sarcasm and COVID-19 could be a very deadly cocktail. Doug Christian, Washington, D.C.